Hi and good afternoon. In my line of work, I often come across parents who say to me, my child doesn't read. That sort of breaks my heart. Because the loss of reading is like the loss of childhood. Because I think we're all made up of stories. Who we are, where we come from, who influenced us, and this picture we have in our mind of what we'll be when we grow up. And very often, this picture is influenced greatly by the books we read. My brother used to read these series of books called Hardy Boys. And, there were these adventure stories and these two brothers. And they used to be avid ham radio operators. So my brother says, wow, ham radio, I'm going to do great things with it. And he became a ham radio operator, and he spent a large part of his teenage years doing cyclone relief operations with the ham radio in Andhra Pradesh. Me, well, I'm eating vada pav at Marine Drive, and in my mind, I'm on the moors with the famous five, eating buttery scones. So books stay with you, So of course, books have a lot of language development and fun things like that, but they do something much greater. What they do is they create these moments of solitude. So when you're reading a book, there's an author who takes you by the hand and takes you into his or her landscape. And the whole world around you blurs, and you sink deep into the recesses of your own mind with just the author as your guide. So when you're reading, you're thinking, you're digesting, you're imagining, and the author's story is now becoming your own story. Because you're interpreting that story as your story. So 5 of us could be reading the same book, but we all have different versions of it. And amazing things happen in these pockets of solitude. You start to sort out your ideas, your thoughts. You learn to identify emotions. So if there's a child who has experienced the loss of a parent, a book on grief will help them, articulate a thought they felt but don't have the words to share. And for that bully, that moment when Harry Potter stands up to the Dursleys, moment of hope, And for a child who sort of wants to be loved, there's this beautiful book called Guess How Much I Love You, and that's going to help them sleep well at night. So reading is really important, and I've always felt really sad. And as a, children's writer and editor, I've always thought, why is it some children don't read? Could it be because they haven't found a book that they love? I thought, what a silly reason not to read. So what I do now is I create literature festivals for children. And I suppose technically that makes me a curator. But what I really am is part chef and part matchmaker. So as a chef, what I do is I put out this whole array of books at my festival. A little bit of humor, some fantasy, fiction, non-fiction, like a delectable array, and say, guys, come and explore, see what you might like. And just like you toss a salad or grill a chicken, I serve up every book as, something that will showcase it at its best. So I'll do a workshop around a non-fiction or call in an author to do an interactive session. And so the child can explore whatever they like and find something new. It's like when you go to a buffet and say, sushi, really? I'm going to try this. Or someone would say, sushi. I think I know what chola bhatura, So that's what it's about. You put it all out there and some kid's going to find something that they love. And then there's this really fun job of being a matchmaker. What I love to do is connect authors with their readers. When a reader meets an author, it's a whole different connection. It's no more just a collection of pages on a shelf. It's a personal connection. It's a real life person who's actually written a book. So then you start taking that book seriously. And at my festivals, there are all these little children who are saying, oh, you know what, Mom, she signed my book. And, wow, Mom, you looked at me, when I asked a question. It's like when I was there, oh my God, I met Shah Rukh Khan, So it's something like that. So there's a great deal of excitement, and I just love to do that. It's a lot of work, keeping track of which books are out there and designing the sessions. But at the heart of it, what drives it all is the fact that I would like every child to find a book that they love. Because as I mentioned, reading is important. Often people say to me, in this age, really? Reading? I mean, we're living in a digital era. Don't you think reading is somewhat defunct? Reading is definitely not. Of course, technology is wonderful, and the digital universe is the reality of today, but that does not make us think that books are not important. Because the way you look at books and the way you look at digital media is entirely different. Like, my daughters and I, we're great Harry Potter fans. So after we read the first book and the movie came out and we looked at, the station and we said, oh, wow, look, Hogwarts Express, and oh my God, look at Hogwarts, it's so cool, and the Great Hall and everything, and it was so exciting. But there was one problem. After that, in all of the books, we could just not imagine Harry Potter's world in any other way. I mean, someone else had fixed the picture in our minds. And that beautiful sense of imagination that kept us hooked to Harry Potter sort of was put aside. So, which is why it is important always, I always believe that please read the book before you see the movie. Use your mind a little bit, And the other thing about the digital world is that it's designed to, I hate to say the word dumb you down, but it's designed for a very fast-paced world. So everything is designed to give you little bits of information. Don't use your brain. Look, I've cut it down into bite-sized pieces for you. Eat it. I've created lists for you. These are the hierarchies of things you should believe in. This is, don't get unplugged from me. So one show will follow another, one website leads to another, and you're just caught in that whole universe, and you don't even have to think. And in this whole fast-paced world, what I like to do with my literature festivals is create spaces where you discover stories, where you enjoy language, where you understand the importance of contemplation and thought. Because I believe that the movers and shakers of the world are not people who are just going to constantly be on the treadmill. They're going to be people who can get off the treadmill, who will be able to read, write, imagine, and most of all, think for themselves. And these are the kind of spaces that I want to help create for children who will love literature and not just be consumers of content. So I'm sure all of us must have felt a connection with the book. That joy when you learn a new word and feel it on your tongue. Or that moment, that connection with the author when they've said something that you've always felt but just didn't know how to put into words. Or that satisfaction you feel when you read a story and you say, wow, that story is going to stay with me for life. And that is the gift of books that we have to give to our children. So if a parent tells me, my child doesn't read, I don't want to have for it to be because they haven't found a book that they love. And that is why I think I do what I do, and I hope to continue doing it for a very long time.